One of the bad habits I had was drinking. And when you're trying to stop drinking, you know, you're not trying to cut back to one martini a day. You're trying to get it all out of your life. And with food, you don't do that, right? You don't stop eating. If you do, you die. And it's a little more challenging in that respect. Alcohol, you want it all out. With eating, with food, you got to be just temperate. And we can talk about nutritious foods all day long and the best foods and calorie density. But dear friends, the food war, it's quite a war. And it's a difficult challenge. So first and foremost, the food has to taste good. Because, you know, taste is high up on the list. No matter how nutritious food is, if it doesn't taste good, well, dear friends, it doesn't taste good. My little brother, his name is Steve, he came to a fellowship meal. We're at a church service having like a potluck fellowship meal afterwards. And this is his first visit into the place where I worshiped. And he came to have lunch with us. And as we're going through the line, there was some kind of pie there. It kind of looked like chocolate, but it was probably carob. And I got a piece. My brother saw me get a piece. He got a piece. And then we sat down. We were having our fellowship. We're talking back and forth. I got my fork, took a nibble of that pie, and it tasted just like sawdust. I thought, yeah, this thing, if my brother bites into that pie, he's going to think all our food tastes like that. And I somehow got it away from his plate, and he never ate it. Food's got to taste good. Here in the kitchen cooking breakfast. Don't know what it is. It looks like, I don't know. Porridge?
Yes.
What kind? Beans, cassava, oatmeal, corn, maize?
Millet.
Millet? Oh, my favorite, millet.
Yeah, you.
No matter how many lectures you give on nutrition density, you know, you can talk about the ANDI index, the aggregate nutrient density index. That probably includes phytochemicals and calorie count and fiber and nutritional value. You can put all that together. But if the food doesn't taste good, Darlene, we're about to have lunch. Preached in a church and the family invited us home, so Daniel and I are about to have lunch. And it looks like it's going to really be good. Close up here. Don't know what it is, but it sure looks good. More than taste good, it needs to look good, needs to smell good, needs to be prepared in a pleasing way to the eye. And then it's got to taste good, and then it's got to make you feel good. It's got to be healthy. And that's not easy to accomplish. So you look at the ANDI score, the ANDI index. Maxing out the chart is a score of 1,000. And the food that's at the top is, yeah, you guessed it, is the greens. You got kale, you got mustard greens, you got collards, bok choy. Foods that I never ate as a child. My mother would fry up this salmon and make salmon patties. We had pickled pig's feet. She'd make ribs a lot of fried food, a lot of sugary food, but you know, Mom didn't cook much kale. And as a result, I didn't really have a love for it. So when I would eat out or go somewhere where they're serving greens, I didn't eat it. Broccoli, to me, that was just like the worst thing in the world. Asparagus, I didn't even have any until I was like in my 20s. Didn't know what it was. Artichoke hearts, just didn't know what it was until I was an adult. And you know, these are foods that are high in nutrition, but in order to be effective, to make you healthy, they got to taste good.
Hello, very good, very nice. Delicious kebab. No good, no money. No money, no honey. Yes, money. Hello, no money, no honey. Yes, money. Very good, very nice. Delicious kebab. Delicious.
The fiber fosters the gut microbiome that promotes regularity in the bowel movement, keeps you feeling fuller for longer, slows the emptying of the stomach. Therefore, if you have diabetes, it kind of takes the spike out of the blood sugar. And then, of course, the low risk factor for breast cancer and prostate cancer and other kinds of cancer. Well, that's great. Fiber is great. But if the food doesn't taste good, who's going to eat fiber? So you have some food that people have a desire for and it tastes good, like a potato chip. Problem with a potato chip is it's a potato that was very healthy. Now it's been fried, a lot of salt has been added, and the food's not as healthy. But come on, you sit down and you eat a potato chip, you eat another, and you eat another. There's a desire there that you just don't have for the potato. Because the fast food industry has taken our food, made it salty, made it oily, made it sweet, and made it hot, and it does something to the taste buds. So the war, the food war, in order to fight it, you got to change your habits.
These do better here in this area. The red Pontiacs do better than the Kennebec here. And they are delicious.
You pick some potatoes and you take them in the house. You can boil it, you can bake it, you can steam it, you can eat it raw. Don't fry it though. Don't fry it. You want it simple, unprocessed, unrefined, the way God made it. That's the nutritional plan. This is the harvest, and it is really going to be appreciated when we sit down for lunch. What we do is we steam or boil the okra. Sometimes we bake it, cut the tomatoes up, eat those peppers, red peppers that are high in vitamin C, and it's just a blessing. Mealtime is a special time around our house. Being out in the garden is our work time. Mealtime is our fellowship time. Now, I know change is a challenge because I'm human and it's very difficult to change. But I also know by experience that over the years, you can re-educate these taste buds and you can develop a love for that which you used to hate. I love broccoli today. I really do. Back then, couldn't stand it. Back then I was eating a lot of pickled pig's feet. Today, don't care for it. It's the food war. It's not a one-time battle, it's a long-term struggle. But when you learn about like phytochemicals, plant chemicals, these chemicals that are in the plants. Let's just take one category, the carotenoids. If you don't know the fancy words for it, orange fruits, right? You got mangoes and papaya and sweet potatoes, these orange fruits. Well, in those orange fruits, you have beta carotene. Beta carotene is synthesized in the body, made into vitamin A, which is good for your eyes. So, yeah, there's good stuff in the food, but to make a carrot taste good, that's your challenge. My wife happens to be the best cook on planet Earth. She makes the food and it really tastes good. Now, when I met Darlene, which was almost 45 years ago, we were just kids. I was taking her out in the morning to the International House of Pancakes, got a big old stack of pancakes and put this syrup all over it. Has some hash browns and some sausage, and we thought that was just the best stuff. At home, Darlene would make mushrooms, mix them up, a lot of cheese in there, a lot of eggs. It was just the best stuff. But foods that we were eating back then were setting our feet on the road to, hypertension, heart disease, stents, and open heart surgery, and all the rest. So it took some re-education, not just of the taste buds, but of the mind. So now I'm learning about lycopene. Years ago, lycopene is a phytochemical in tomatoes, more readily available if they're cooked. I eat a lot of tomatoes. When I was a child, I ate very few tomatoes. So I'm getting a health benefit. Not just it tastes good, makes me feel good, smells good, looks good. I'm getting a benefit because eating more tomatoes helps to prevent prostate cancer. That's scientific research. So this phytochemical thing, is really very simple. You got the blue, you got the purple, you got green, you got orange, you got white. The thing to do is you eat foods with all the different colors because some foods are higher in some properties than others. It's like Brazil nuts are higher in selenium than almonds, but almonds have things that Brazil nuts don't have. So you need a diet that has a wide variety of different colors and different kinds. And those phytochemicals, they give the food texture, taste, color, smell. They're dynamite. And foods that are healthiest are the ones that are just chock full of phytochemicals. I realize there's a great war today on carbohydrates, low carb, high carb, Atkins diet, keto diet, all the different kind of diets. people fail to make a distinction between the good carbs and the bad carbs. You know, broccoli, carrots, Brussels sprouts, granola I have for breakfast, blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, these are all carbohydrates. But there's a world of difference between these carbohydrates and simple carbohydrates, complex versus simple. The simple carbohydrates are cakes, donuts, candy, these things that are high in calories, low in nutritional value, usually high in fat, high in sugar. There's a world of difference between the two. So complex carbohydrates are very good. It's a good source of fuel for the body. Simple carbs, well, they're lacking. So this morning, Darlene is doing some surgery. The peppers are healthy, but they're down in the mud. It's rained a lot. Darlene, why do those peppers fall over like that?
Well, with all the wind and rain and storms that we've had, these are tall peppers. It just knocks them right over.
And what kind of peppers are those?
These are Marconi sweet peppers. They're not a bell. They're a longer pepper. They're delicious. They're very sweet. They're a red pepper.
How long before we can have a few of those for lunch?
Well, I don't know. They're a little slower too.
Okay.
So we're having some of the smaller peppers for lunch, but not these yet.
Yeah.
Can I give you this thing? It's in my way.
What thing?
This, you're not listening to me now, are you?
What, you mean is the mic working?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't think it is.
Good. I'm going to give it back to you because I'm getting tangled up in it.
Okay.
Here you go.
Now, the battle. When you sit down, there's the plate. You got to do your research. You got to find recipes. Some people don't use recipes. My wife does. I don't, but I only make the bread around here. I make the bread. I make the waffles. I make the biscuits. I just made a banana crisp about 30 minutes ago. I make some things. I have a repertoire, limited, of the things that I like to cook, and my wife likes me to cook them, waffles. But I like the food she makes so much, I'd really rather her cook. Now, I do all the dishes, and she would rather cook than do the dishes, so we're like a hand in a glove. We fit well together.
So what I'm doing today,
Start again, because I had to think button push.
So what I'm doing today is cutting fig, I don't know what you call them, but fig, yeah.
Let's start over again. Yeah, that's one of mine. You did a loo. You did a loo. You did a loo.
Excuse me. So what I'm doing today is cutting these fig shoots.
So how many of these fig bushes you have growing out there in the garden?
I don't know. I planted more than 20 last year, and I had some before that. It's a few.
Yeah.
So I probably got, getting close to 30. This will probably make 30 something time I get through with these.
You planning on selling them, opening up a little fig stand?
Now I'm planning on eating the figs. Lots of figs.
Okay. So you're using a little hand printer then, huh?
I'm using a hand printer. These are Felcos, which I like a lot. We got these. They're expensive printers, but I think I got them for $12 at a thrift store or a bargain store.
What if you run into a fig that's too big for the Felco?
And then I want to use these things.
What do you have there?
I don't know.
Oh, those are like
These are the big loppers.
heavy duty, okay.
Yeah, these are heavy duty, and I don't know what kind they are, but they work. They're anvil pruners, not bypass.
Okay. You must have an army of workers to grow that many figs and all the other foods you're growing.
No, just 2 workers.
Well, I don't know if I met the other worker.
You've met him, and he likes to eat the figs more than work in the figs.
Oh, well.
So
How much do you pay him?
I pay him in figs. So
I think he wants a raise. Danger in thinking. That means you don't accept the status quo. You don't accept what your doctor says. You want to research it out for yourself. You want to get to the bottom. You want to find out what the good foods are. And then it's the great food war, how to change your taste buds. Now, they call it a disability and disease and death curve. You're going in your 40s and 50s, your health begins to decline. And as you get older, you go into this downward spiral until finally you end up in the grave after all these different chronic diseases. The disease, disability, and death curve. My dear friends, you don't have to go that route. You get on that good, nutritious diet, and by God's grace, you can live a long, healthy life. And then as you're older, you might just drop over peacefully, pass away, wait for the second coming into resurrection. So the diet that I have found to be the most profitable for my health is one that is rich in, the whole grains, fruits, vegetables, nuts. These things that constitute our diet came right from the hand of the Creator. You go out in the garden, you see the things growing, you see all the different plants. If you get it the way God made it, that's the healthiest diet. Don't process, don't refine, don't add things to it, don't take away. You don't eat white bread, eat the whole grain bread. Then you get food that is full of the good stuff. Mealtime is one of the high points in our family life. We go to the table, we share good food, we get up, take a little exercise. By the way, best place to exercise is out in the garden.
It's good exercise.
And my wife is 70. I am 68, going to be 69 in a couple of months. And dear friends, our health is good by God's grace, His blessing. And if we get on the plan, stay on the plan. If we fight the food war, it's a war of life and death. By God's grace, we can win. My dear friends, may God help you today as you seek to be healthy and happy.